Crypto holders have never been in a better position than right now. And the reason I'm saying that is because the dollar literally seems screwed. Right now, there are so many ties in place to make sure that the dollar is not the spearhead of everything anymore. And like I've already covered, in the US right now, there are massive fears over the banks actually being bankrupt. Here is an opinion piece. Most US banks are technically near insolvency and hundreds are already fully insolvent, Rubini says. And we've been seeing this push and this narrative of ditching crypto by some of these major banks as a final type of vision to keep money inside their system and let it stop flowing to cryptocurrencies. I cannot find it right now, but a couple days ago, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I also showed you guys a little piece where one major fund manager is also telling all his clients to protect themselves from this banking exodus or whatever you want to call it in the US, but it's kind of everywhere around the world to buy some Bitcoin to put a couple years worth of salary in cryptocurrencies. Because honestly, it's just, in my own opinion, the safest thing out there that we can think of right now. Just looking at the crypto performance, the 12-year seasonality pattern, what it's telling us, well, that April is actually a pretty bullish month. And if we look at Bitcoin's quarterly candle here, honestly, it's quite hard to look at this and think, yeah, this technology is going to come crashing down right now. Right now is the time, especially when the banks are in such a screwed position. By the way, if you've not done it yet, guys, make sure you press that like button. You guys really help out with by pressing that. Little bag of coins I'm holding a ton of, especially right now. I hold a ton of XRP. I've already told you guys this many times, but I believe they'll win the lawsuit, even if it could take some time. Right now, we have two major things coming up. We have the fact that the judge should be making a decision soon because of timing, like all these lawyers have pointed out. And again, we have April 18th, Gary Gensler's speech about crypto regulation and how they see it. Both of these could be happening soon. And again, they could take some more time to impact, but I'm just buying it for that reason as well. I've been buying massive amounts of Chainlink, fundamentally one of the best cryptocurrencies out there. I've been buying a ton of HBAR. I think they have like the literal best partnerships in crypto. And if you want one that's properly institutional backed, then Elgrand is definitely a cool one as well. eGold, I think, is always nice. Not something I buy every single day, but I do have a good chunk. IOTA is one that you guys at the comment section were grilling me for not looking into more, so I've done that. It's definitely one of my best coins now as well. And then XDC and QNT, I couldn't find QNT right now. Yeah, those are my gems as well. XDC mostly for the part that I have heard so many rumors about some sort of listing, and I still expect it to happen. Maybe they're waiting for market conditions, but I still think that XDC, regardless of the price, is still at a really good position right now for an easy like 30% or so, depending on whatever or whenever this listing happens. But I still believe it's going to happen. Again, have no official sources, but so many rumors, and I do believe them to be true. We have to mention one thing as well here in the midst. Arbitrum, there's something really crazy that happened just now. Hopefully you guys have already seen it, but Arbitrum launched quite recently. And so the team had a ton of funds to do with as they pleased. Now, officially, they had to ask permission from the voters. And apparently, they already decided to move millions upon millions of dollars while putting a request for what they should do with the money. And they then went to state, all right, we've already moved some money. We believe that a lot of negative sentiment around AIP, the Arbitrum Improvement Protocol, was driven by confusion around the notion of this proposal being ratification and not a request. For those that didn't realize that this was a ratification, they may have been surprised to see the foundation's tokens have already been separated and begun to be utilized. Because it literally can be confirmed that they moved tons of money. And again, the whole community was right now a little bit scared because of all this, because, well, it wasn't supposed to happen. Or rather, if you're there for the people instead of for the money and for the founders or the team, then you probably wouldn't have done this. Now they've said the vote was just a formality, and they've already spent 50 million of the proposed 750 million Arbitrum. Your vote is not vote. Yeah, that is quite a scary thing, right? I just wanted to quickly mention that because it's the most trending topic right now. Another thing that's really trending right now in regards with XRP is this private CBDC ledger. Or basically anything that Ripple is creating that's not our main open XRP ledger. And I think I could sit here for another day or so debating with you guys, but the idea here of a private ledger or a newly created ledger purely for CBDC or to anyone's request basically is a wonderful idea. Again, XRP Ledger based upon the open source Xrpl codebase, changes proposed and voted on by the XRP Ledger community. With CBDC Ledger, also based on the open source XRP Ledger codebase, changes proposed and implemented by each central bank community. The XRP Ledger is normally public, decentralized network of peer-to-peer servers running XRP Ledger software. The CBDC Ledger would be private network of peer-to-peer servers running CBDC Ledger software. And obviously, XRP would just be a public, counterparty-free digital asset native to the XRP Ledger, traded globally. And the CBDC would be a digital asset on the CBDC Ledger that represents a fiat currency with markets controlled by central banks. Now, the reason that this is such a huge thing is because of the, in my opinion, other services that Ripple has built, or rather that are on top of the XRP Ledger that this private layer then could still actually make use of. And the thing is, we're always thinking of, CBDC is scary, scary, scary. Well, what if a company that we have very close ties with that could make profit out of this for our XRP as well, I think, actually has a proper setup to put them on top of one of their ledgers? That would be huge. And again, it has to be private, mostly for the reason of security, I think, as well. For a CBDC, that is, right? And again, why is it good for the XRP Ledger? Having a private CBDC ledger allows organizations and government to innovate quickly and safely while still protecting actual value through mainnet collateralization, federated XRP Ledger sidechains, increased XRPL valuation over time, and again, it's going to still be utilizing a ton of normal XRP Ledger decentralized applications probably, and it's going to be a lot of attention and seriousness, I'd say, to the XRP Ledger and everything surrounding that. As again, if they got the trust from these central banks, you can't really break anymore. All right, another side piece is I've seen many people say, oh, but right now XRP insiders are saying, blah, blah, blah. John Deedon says, I see comments about insiders and whether Ripple and the SEC will learn beforehand. The only people who will know before the judge publicly issues her ruling is her staff and any clerks who helped with her or helped her with the research or helped her with the decision. So for anybody that does not understand, what that basically means is one of you guys out there has to take one for the team. Go over to New York, find this judge or find one of their peoples, get into a serious relationship with them. Again, you only probably have a couple days. Get this info out of them and then reply back to us in the comment section down below. That is your only sole mission in life right now, to set everybody up. So make sure you do that. And once you've done it, send me a little message, because you deserve a little $1 million reward, you know. In all seriousness, that's wild though, right? I know it's insider trading, it's not allowed, but it's just wild, the idea that there could be one of you guys watching this video right now just, shaking his hands thinking I'm a freaking idiot because you know the exact date. Maybe it's your wife, that, it could be. Also, one thing that's quite peculiar is the amount of coverage over on CoinDesk. I've just been noticing this. Hopefully you guys have been too. I, by the way, will be going to their event over in Austin, Texas, April 26th to 28th. Just quickly letting you guys know about that. If you're in the US or in Austin specifically, you might see me around because we're going to be there for a couple of days. Have people noticed the XRP coverage at CoinDesk lately? Call it a banker's coin, call it a shit coin, call it a security, call it whatever you want. But no coin has been more resilient. Let me use lingo Bitcoin maxis will enjoy. XRP is a roach. Even a nuclear war won't kill. And that's the honest truth here, where XRP indeed, they've been shit on by Cointelegraph, all these major outlets for years. And all of a sudden, as we get closer and closer to the end date and we see more and more bullish momentum, they also switch sides and start acting bullish on it, start posting these positive articles about it. XRP went on a tear this week. In March alone, the token gained 40%. It appears that there's been a missing piece to this puzzle that explains a lot of what's happening with XRP, and that is Korea. If you're wondering about Korea, Korea is massively overvaluing or just valuing XRP highly right now because, again, over in Korea, you have to trade with your number and your bank account number, your personal number, your bank account number. So you can't really enter the Korean market if you're not Korean. From that perspective, they can, have a different price than we have because it's only their insiders. So it's not that easy to arbitrage, which is why the prices are not equal. And over there was a lot more hype. And you guys know Korea, right? They go massive on these types of speculation pieces, etc. And so when this whole lawsuit end was thought about, Korea just went absolutely wild, and some whales are buying tons of XRP. They've done it for a little while. And again, these guys are also not letting go, I think for the most part because they believe that Ripple is going to become victorious. You have to understand that Korea was also a very big part in XRP going to this $3.50 or $3.90, whatever price back in 2018. I believe it was on the 4th of January. And I believe, again, even this time around, again, Korea will play a massive part because the price on there is just massively inflated. And so it only gets this inflated status. And by the way, it was also the #1 most traded coin in whole of the top Korean exchanges. Once it gets this inflated point, and how it gets there is because they overvalue the coin. Bitcoin and every coin out there has always got a little premium most of the time, but that's because there's just more demand over in Korea for these cryptocurrencies than the supply. There's just a little bit more. But in moments of this massive panic, which we're also going to be seeing the moment that this lawsuit finishes, we're probably going to see an XRP price in Korea that's 4 times as high, maybe, right? Now, let's just make it easier here. Like 150% or so of what the XRP price is outside of it, but potentially a high point that could be 2, 3, 4 times as high as other US exchanges or, world crypto exchanges, because they don't have access to the open markets like we do. So it could literally be so that the price on there would just go in a crazy tantrum without being regulated by some of the market makers or some of the arbitrageurs or some of the outside forces, because it's kind of like a locked off economy. So just be prepared for that as well, because that might also add a lot of extra push to XRP outside of Korea, just because they're seeing XRP grow like crazy in Korea. It's just something I've been thinking about. Wanted to quickly mention that. But yeah, that was it for today. I have a lot of cool things coming up. Right now, we're still waiting for Bitcoin to break through that resistance as I've described in my earlier video today. Yeah, something we're still looking out for. And vice versa. I mean, right now, if we just take a slight little look actually at it, it just seems that Bitcoin has been facing some resistance. You can clearly see it right there. We are still struggling at the exact same level. For Ethereum, though, we talked before about this symmetrical triangle, and right now it's just not breaking out towards the upside, but it's breaking down, again, because of Bitcoin's not so juicy momentum. In terms of dominance for Bitcoin, it is falling down again as well. This could be a short-term indication of altcoins obviously taking over a little bit or being less bearish than Bitcoin. But for the most part, I still think Bitcoin will take back some dominance before the massive altcoin run starts. And this is just some wishy-washy price action before the big thing. But I still believe, guys, that the bull run is very freaking close, which is why I'm so bullish on cryptocurrencies right now. But yeah, that was it. Make sure you press the like button if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today.